you to realize, right, this is a core source, a core academic documentary, vital, right, to your core understandings of cultural anthropology, right? And when we talk about and unpack the nuances, right, of cultural anthropology, right, make sure to write down and capture the nuances of Hall's primary messaging systems, right? This source, again, a core source in an honors program, is so vital, which is why I'm repeating myself, right? You need to be prepared for seminar.
Who's your freshman crush?
Wait, like they're a freshman now?
Brian. It's Brian Colton.
Brian Colton.
Yeah.
Oh my god. Yes.
Oh,
Brian Colton.
Mine's probably Brian Colton. I saw him in Michigan game once and I kind of flipped out. I was like, oh my god.
I think Brian Colton's the popular answer, so I'm gonna go with him.
Yeah.
Brian Colton.
I was obsessed with Brian Colton and that Eric kid. I don't know if his last name is short.
Eric.
It's the cutest thing ever.
Yeah, Brian Colton for sure. Max Jolson a little bit. Max Jolson.
That's too easy. Anna Marie Webby.
Yeah, Anna Marie.
Brian
Max Jolson.
Colton was the love of
Max
my
Jolson's
life.
a good one.
Also, Brennan Bull, I know he graduated last year, but literally when I walked into Olsen CG, I saw him and I was like, it's the love of my life.
Anna Marie Webby.
Yeah, Anna Marie. Yeah.
McLean.
Logan says Webby. I say Webby.
I say Webby.
It's Anna Marie Webby.
And Maya Salinas.
Was Sean McKillop a senior? Then him.
Who was your sophomore crush?
When I was a sophomore, probably Emma Goodman.
Peter Peterson.
He's so
Nice.
Isaac Susser, Sean McKillop. Who else?
Max Jolson.
Max
Max
Jolson.
Jolson.
Yep.
Christian Graham. He was in my CG. So hot.
My junior crush, Melanie Taylor. There, I said it.
There, I said
There. I really liked Alex Gilkey.
Alyssa Pascal. Sorry, Logie.
All right. Who is your freshman crush?
I was not here freshman year.
Vincent wasn't here freshman year.
Vincent wasn't here.
Vincent wasn't here freshman year.
Wasn't
Here.
freshman year.
freshman year.
Huh?
Oh.
What about Vincent?
He wasn't here freshman year.
What about that?
In the arms of the angel, fly away from here, from this dark, cold hotel room, and the endlessness that you fear. These are my confessions.
I don't like Smith that much. He's not funny.
Confession, I'll put that in.
He's like, I'm sarcastic, and I'm like, okay, Aiden, like, get some actual jokes.
I am Edwin J. Hansen 4.
Sometimes in seminar, I don't participate all the time, but there was one really dry one I had freshman year, I think. We were supposed to be reading All Quiet on the Western Front. Didn't talk at all. But Mr. Briere, at the end of the seminar, he goes, hey, anybody who hasn't talked yet, you can show me your notes, and I'll give you full credit. I didn't have any notes, because just didn't have any notes, but what I did notice
Naturally, right.
is the person before me had highlighted a lot of stuff in the book. So I just started flipping through all this other person's like highlighted pages, and then Mr. Brier's like, oh yeah, great job, and then he gave me full credit.
I never come to school.
I go to the bathroom like 6 times a day, but I never actually go to the bathroom. And I'm talking, when I say 6 times a day, I mean 6 times like in the flex period, just as like a time of peace and contemplation.
The other day, I was taking finals early, and so I like went up to Mr. Z because he's like, you know, big dog, head of flex. And I was like, hey, Mr. Z, like, I gotta take my final early, like, what am I supposed to do? He's like, go talk to your counseling group teacher. And I was like, and I like turned to walk out of the little theater. I'm like, okay, I'm gonna go. I'm like, wait, Mr. Z, you're my counseling group teacher. He was like, yeah, come talk to me later. And I was like, okay. And I just like left, and I'm like, wow, glad I'm like very rememberable in flex. That like he knew I was in his counseling group. Like,
we just like never come to school. Yeah, that's the confession.
Okay, well, one time, I don't remember when it was. I think it was sophomore year. I just like, you know, it wasn't my day, right? So I camped out in the book room for both hours, and no one knew I was in there.
I'm just the perfect flex student, you know. I just do everything.
This bin that I put all my work in that I don't need anymore. And I got a lot of flex. I only turn in the required books because I'm not about to get fined.
I have a shelf in my room that's just all flex books. I'm gonna give them back, but for now they're mine.
Hey, my flex confession. You know, maybe haven't read a few sources.
Oh yeah. Welcome to the club, man.
But I still seminar.
My confession is that I really only switched into flex my junior year to get out of econ and AP Lang and keep my honors credit. But it was a really good choice.
I've been late probably every single day, junior and senior year. Yeah, probably 95% of the days sophomore year. I'm not even kidding, that's probably not an exaggeration at all. I was probably late.
Have never finished a flex book except Frankenstein. I actually finished that one all the way through, but none of them I've fully completed.
But sophomore year, the flex team tried to set me up with Ben Williams. I just kind of held on to that.
I sleep a lot during most sources. Like most.
See, I could say that, but like it's well known.
Yeah.
So it's not really a confession.
I eat in the odd.
I ate in the odd, like every day.
Weird confession, but I don't think that Truman Show was like the best source. Like everyone always says, like Truman Show is like the best.
Ever since I turned 18, in between first and second hour, Mr. Smith and I have been sneaking off and juuling, hitting the Soren, just emptying out all my pods.
Well, sophomore year, I ran an experiment where first try, I studied really hard for the objective and see what I got, and then I didn't study at all second try, and I got the exact same score on the objective. So like,
I've never got the Edmodo code, and I didn't get it last year, and like 3 weeks later, I was like, fuck, I can't ask now, I'm gonna get yelled at. Fast forward to now, I still don't have the Edmodo code, and I'm too scared to ask, so if anyone wants to get that for me, that would be really helpful.
Truman Show.
That's what I was gonna say.
I think my favorite source is either probably Truman Show, the giant one. That was kind of interesting.
The Truman Show. Truman Show was really good. Changed my mind.
The Truman Show or To Live.
Truman Show. Shower or The Matrix.
Mine would probably be Raise the Red Lantern or Immortal Beloved.
I thought The Great Gatsby was really good. I liked that last year.
What was like the Lantern movie?
Oh, Raise the Red Lantern. Raise the Red Lantern.
Will you raise the red lantern?
Raise Up the Red Lantern or something like that.
That one was good.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah.
The Lantern place.
Honestly, The Matrix was awesome Western year.
I found
I love
We
that
just trying to
one.
make connections to the Matrix every single time we were in class.
Dude, it's because it fit
Dude,
for
Mr.
like
Stein got
my
so mad at you,
freshman,
though.
my freshman level of intelligence.
Yes, we
And
used to make
it was
a lot
either
of
that,
Family
The
Guy
Truman Show,
references.
or Rashomon, because Rashomon was like wild.
Yeah, I didn't think I saw all of that. I came in like halfway through. I was like really confused.
Oh, you disappointment.
I didn't have a choice. I think I was
Remember
sick or
when
something.
we were watching
No, I had a
the-
doctor's appointment.
It was like in the future and all that shit.
Matrix.
The Matrix. Yeah.
Yeah, but
Also,
I
I
can
really
finish
liked
that tonight.
Kindred. Even though I like spark noted it, I liked the ideas that it had.
Same.
Mine's actually a book, surprisingly.
Very
It's
surprised.
Things Fall Apart.
Ooh.
I've never read a source in my life. Just kidding. Kite Runner. Immortal Beloved.
I was gonna say that.
Yes.
Wait,
So
can we
good.
actually? Never mind this, and it's a great movie, and it's really.
I thought it was so good.
Okay.
Western year sources though.
Hamlet.
Shower.
And also, Kite Runner, cause it's the only book that like we haven't finished it yet, but it's the only book that I actually like.
Yeah, it's
like all the other ones, I just get really bored of.
they're really
Huck
dense.
Finn.
Nice.
No, my favorite's Huck Finn. Nope. He's such a little squish, and I love him so much, and I just love.
Have
the
you met
book.
him before?
Shut up, Chloe.
Okay.
Have you met Beethoven?
Here, honestly, because like ninjas flying all over the place. Honestly, me too.
Allegory of the Cave. That one changed my life.
All Quiet on the Western Front, I really enjoyed. Like that was.
My Children, My Africa, obviously.
I really liked all of the Global Year movies, so like Hero, Raise the Red Lantern, Shower was a good one, Joya Noel is in my
Oh my gosh,
yes.
that was what I was gonna
That's
say.
a good one.
Loved.
Girl Rising was good. Yeah.
Rashomon.
Oh, I really liked Disturbing the Peace. I thought it was like really cool, and I felt like really empowered after watching it. And then I also really liked the comedy show we just watched.
Oh, I liked that one.
What was it
too.
called?
Tickling the Giant.
Tickling the Giant. I thought like those two are probably like my favorite.
Oh my god, guys, are you excited for leadership?
Yeah, I can't wait to go on the field trips and help the little kids.
It's gonna be so fun. But we are so great already. Let's get, oh shoot, let's go to leadership.
So excited.
A sign of a good leader is that everyone has a chair. There aren't enough chairs. Does everyone have a I know I shouldn't be scared of Drew, but she's so much bigger than me. And I was really scared. I just wanted her to have the chair. In my head, I'm gonna get hit.
The fact that he wants everyone to have a chair.
Like, literally, I didn't know that I could have this respect for someone because one chair equals 1 ounce, like, that much more of respect. Just so much respect. It's just so crazy. Like, look how well the room's getting along with this.
this actually happened the other day. I have a screenshot. So me and Vincent DeSanto, we were at Kroger doing some grocery shopping, and all of a sudden, I get a FaceTime call from Steven Stein. Steven Stein. And Vincent was like, answer. I was like, why the, hey! And so, like, at first the screen is black, and then he goes, oh, hey guys, where are you? We go, Kroger? And then he's like, wait, did I call you? We were like, yeah, and he was like, okay, see you guys in class tomorrow. We were like, what the fuck just happened?
Last year, I was, I don't know, it doesn't count because it's like it was during lunch, but it was like in the Flex newspaper room thing with only Flexies. And Rachel Hatton told me that I was like Isaac Susser, but better, and I almost cried.
Anne-Marie in the town hall our freshman year.
Yes.
I was sitting kind of near her, and Peter said like something Moten. You know,
Like Moten needs to like you said Moto.
Yeah, like Moten's not that good or something like that. She stands up and she's like, "How dare you!" It was so funny. As a freshman, I was like, "Oh my god! Like, what did I get into? Like, what is this?"
Flex code.
Yeah, it was the best though.
Anna Marie almost murdered Peter.
Oh my
like
God.
that was just insane.
Why?
And I was like, this is what
Because,
Flex is and what it needs to be.
No, it's
like,
a writing group. There'd be some Just Dance parties going on.
My favorite, I think, was freshman year for our French film festival. It was in between hours, taking a little break from watching this movie.
I wasn't here.
And
get out of here.
Mr.
Get out of here, you scam.
I'm in Mr. Briere's room, and it's just kind of like he's just not really paying any attention to anybody. He's just kind of like, we're all having our private conversations and stuff. But I look over, and Mr. Briere just has this violin, but he just starts like plucking at it like a guitar. And he's just like staring off into space, just like plucking at this violin. And it's just kind of funny to me.
Okay.
But that's pretty much it.
All right.
I have to say the book room.
Okay. Probably when we were in writing group and Miss Moten, I always sit in like the front right here.
Oh my God.
And we would just have the weirdest conversations the whole hour about like the weirdest things. And Miss Moten would always sit right over here. And she would, I always thought she wasn't listening because she was on her computer or, doing something. I just didn't think she heard. And then one day she just tells us, we're getting up to leave. It's end of class, and she just tells us, I just love all the things you guys talk about. I just hear all of them. I know everything you've been saying, and I just love it. And I immediately, my life flashed before my eyes. I was like, oh, no.
So
Thankfully, she was, into it. She thought it was funny, but, yeah, it was, I was,
Freshman year, we're in CG, it's like second try or something, and that's when we had to do the Canterbury Tales, and Jack Hanna comes in with his potato sack. He has his little story, and at the end Bria's like, can I keep your potato sack? And he takes it home. I think he put it on the board or something. And then for the objective, Jack Hanna again, he goes up and he staples, I think it was a $1 bill, a $5 bill to his objective as he turns it in. And Mr. Bria just he's like, I can't take bribes. He just rips it off and just puts it on the end of the desk, and he was like, please get that.
I was in student-led seminar, and there was this pan, and this glass pan, and we didn't know why it was there. So we were throwing shit at it in our seminar, and someone threw their phone, and it had an OtterBox case. And it knocked the pan, we didn't know whose it was, and it flew off the table and shattered. And we were all just like, no one tells Smith, no one tells Z. And they didn't know.
We took a trip to the DIA one year, and it was just there wasn't a specific thing that happened, but the whole entire day, we all just hung out at the DIA, and we went through everything, and then we all got lunch together. And it was, Kate wasn't a part of us, so it's fine.
Kate's our news.
But it was just a really good day.
Kate's in recent edition.
And I hope that the future Flexies get to do that too.
So, all right, here's the story. For some reason, I decided it was freshman year elective in Olsen's room, and I decided to, I was reading my book, right, because it's a pretty good book. Lie on a table, and I don't know why, and then I was just reading my book, enjoying myself, and then everyone starts laughing. I'm like, what's so funny? I'm like, I don't know, maybe it's I'm on a table, because that's kind of weird. And so I just keep reading, and everybody just keeps laughing. I'm like, what the heck is going on? And I turn around, and Max Jolson's like 2 feet behind me, just like breathing on my neck, and then Donovan is like another 2 feet behind me, like on the table. And I'm like, what the heck?
I like the buffets.
I can talk about my Chinese
We did that!
Back into the video, I'd like to state that I am culturally Jewish. Period.
Marissa is culturally Jewish.
If not everyone already knows.
She would talk about the day Brian Colton wore a tank top to school.
You know, when you sit right.
No, I know.
Now it's all changed. I didn't realize.
Brian Colton's seat is gone.
I used to sit up in the freshman corner and I would videotape Brian Colton and I would be like, he looks so cute today. Yeah,
I still have the picture of him in a tank top.
Sophomore year, when none of our grade was like close together yet, so Moten like took all the cliques and she literally like picked a person from each clique and got us into groups, and we had to do one acts. And so we did the one acts. I felt like my groups was like so good and it was so much fun. And then after all the one acts were done, we were all in Moten's room. We were all just kind of like sitting kind of close together. Then she made us like go around and like say like nice things about each other and like what did you notice that was like super good that someone did, and like after that, and then we made the group me, and I just feel like we're a really close grade now, and I like our grade a lot. There's not a single person that I dislike.
No one told you life was gonna be this way. Your job's a joke you broke, your love life's the old way. It's like you're always stuck in second gear. When it hasn't been your day, week, your month, or even your year. But I'll be there for you. Your face starts to go. I'll be there for you. I'll be there for you.
So the juniors suck.
I taught them to be such good leaders, right? I don't understand what they aren't absorbing, right?
Hello, folks. Who is that?
It's an English Team Niner. I wonder what he wants.
I think this is a good time for me to announce that me and my soulmate, we have decided to congregate in a wedding pretty soon.
Oh, I can get Olive Garden Decatur.
Hey, also, Edwin, I have a hole in my sweater, so if you could just take this home and patch it up.
Yeah, master.
Some
Yeah,
nuance,
so
right?
I work at,
I think
like,
it's the most useful word
where do I work?
in
Like
the
basketball
dictionary.
around?
What
Like,
kind of clerk?
My name's Jeff Gonzalez.
Pete Smith.
So the seniors suck.
The ball is dropped! They are not full value!
So when we talk about the seniors, right, I don't think that they have realized the importances of senior year, right? And when they say something, they only say it once. How do they absorb anything? They can't fully realize the nuances of what they're saying if they only say it once, right?
Okay guys, we need to celebrate the goals they have gotten somewhere close to half achieving. 41% 0.382% of them have turned in their big boards last try. That's almost 42%, which is almost 50%. Double that, you got 100%. We should celebrate that.
If I know anything about econ, and I do, that math doesn't seem correct.
That's correct. Correct. I know econ.
So, Z, how's Gov going?
You know, it's good. I assigned them a paper due next session, but the gag is, there is no next session. Also, I'm not going to teach Gov anymore. It's just going to be a 3-try AP class on gerrymandering. Yeah, it is an AP advanced placement course, and I took 3 days and nights to write the AP test. So, no sleep. It's done now, though.
So you lost some sleep. Let me tell you about a little funny chemical called curcumin. A study was done where heart attacks were induced on little mice. Those poor precious creatures. I respect their scientific work. Anyway, the curcumin stopped heart attacks and was a remarkable anti-inflammatory process. I'll make you a cherry cleanse.
Oh, cherries. Those cure UTIs. No.
Just gotta learn somehow.
Please let me introduce a source. Just one little source.
I feel like we've been in a little bit too much work recently. How about we have another day of service?
Yeah, someone used to do it for us. What was her name?
Look, it's former Flex student teacher Rochelle Elias.
Guys, I've been stuck in the goddamn Flex cave for the past 2 years and no one came looking for me. What the hell?
We thought you went to Athens. You can't blame us.
But I don't know.
We're in a meeting right now.
Yeah, you kind of interrupted us.
Bye.
What did you do to her?
One of my favorite memories because it was like my intro to Flex. So I was in Olson CG freshman year, and it was the first day that we were in CGs, and I was sitting like right next to our door. Mr. Hansen was sitting by the computer, like the desktop in the corner, and Audrey Peterson walks in, and there's like the Daily Dose of Culture, and she writes along the lines of like, female hyena have penis-like genitalia and are sexually dominant, and like wrote that and left, and Olson was like, she's like, cool. And Mr. Hansen and I made eye contact, and I feel like that was a very good intro to Flex, where I was like, it's like, okay, setting the mood for the year. Like, excellent.
It was during econ, or as I like to call it, Zcon, sitting there, and I was on my computer, and I was watching clips of this Always Sunny episode, where it's called The Gang Gets Analyzed, and they go to this therapist and the shrink, and they're all doing their own thing, like talking to this therapist. And all of a sudden, just my mouse starts to move.
Oh yeah, I remember this now.
And it just like clicks out of my browser, and I'm like really confused. I'm like, what the fuck just happened? So like I go back and like I click it and I like YouTube it back up again, and I'm sitting there again, and all of a sudden I just see in my YouTube search bar it starts typing. It goes, Jack, get back to work. Get off your computer, or else I'm gonna shut it down. Dash, Mr. Stein. So Mr. Stein was remote accessing my computer for like 20 minutes in econ, and then I like cleared the search bar, and I'm like, I typed in, I'm done with all my work, and then he deletes it. He just types, no, you're not, and then just like deletes it, and I keep like trying to contact him, like, no, Mr. Stein, like I can show you the work, I'm almost done, but like he just wouldn't type back. He just like remote accessed the shit out of my computer. It was
HAL 9000.
Ever since freshman year, I knew Chloe, I think, the best when I came in freshman year, and she is a big coffee drinker. She always has the same mug every single day. And I like knocked it over one day, and then the next day I knocked her coffee over again, and well, I probably knocked her coffee over like 5,000 times.
Yeah,
like
no,
I knocked it over
like
at
at
least
like 50 times.
So sophomore year, we were in seminar, Mr. Breer's seminar,
and it was me and Stefan. We were sitting like just next to each other in the circle, and I guess Stefan said something that pissed off Mary Elizabeth Johnson, and so she walked up to his desk, picked up his Arizona, and took a big sip of it and set it down without saying a word and just walked away. Just walked right out of the classroom. And we did not know what to do. Like, we couldn't believe that it just happened, and like, what was that statement supposed to like mean? And it was crazy. And then he goes, well, I have mono, so joke's on her. Ooh.
On the first day freshman year of Flex, I walked into the odd because we were doing like the intro stuff and like finding out who our teachers were, and I went to like go sit in the back, like the very back row where all the teachers sit, and I have to go sit down, and Anna Marie Webby comes in and she goes, "You can't sit there. That's where the teachers sit." And I felt like I was in Mean Girls.
Right. Mine was when Mr. Smith deemed me his favorite.
Mine has definitely got to be when Mr. Smith told me that I was his second favorite.
All right.
Wait. Oh, hey, look
yeah.
at that!
He's on time.
Mr. On Time! Fashion Flex memory. Let's hear it. Favorite one.
I have no idea.
When Gabe like left C home and he was like gone for like a week and a half, and it took like all grade to notice like Mrs. Olsen was like, "Where was Gabe?" And
No,
like
she said, "Where's Dave?"
Yeah, Dave. He didn't even tell me. I was pissed.
No, day of service sophomore year and junior year. We went, Reagan and I got to go to Gleaner's Farm in like Fenton, Michigan. And A, it's right by my grandparents' house, so I loved that. B, we got to like, this sounds so boring, but like we got to like pull up like
irrigation line?
Yeah, and like play with slugs, and like we got to pick corn.
No, we got to run through cornfields.
We got to like run through cornfields and like find dead corn and like put it in a bag. And we were with Miss Moten, so like it was just like it was like the best day.
The junior writing group vape bus. That was my favorite memory.
Oh my God, Allie Unger, freshman year, speech class, giving a speech about Kesha, and just breaks out into song. She's like, wah, wah. Do you remember that? Oh my God, that is the best day of my life. And she also, we had to give a speech on someone that inspired us, and she stood there up there and she goes, me. I inspire myself. And she gets done with her whole, like, what was it, a 6-minute speech, and Mr. Stein goes, that's not acceptable, it has to be someone else. Girl shit.
I love how he waited until she was finished with the entire speech to tell her.
She's like, I love myself, I'm perfect.
We miss you, Allie.
We do.
I don't really remember what started this conversation, but all I remember is Mr. Smith yelling across the hallway to Jack Combs that he had herpes. Jack, not Mr. Smith.
When Mr. Hansen did the Koyaanisqatsi at Flexmas, and then there was a flash mob, and we got to be a part of the flash mob. That was really cool.
Oh, yeah.
And then last year, I really liked making the pancakes for Flexmas. Don't know why, but I thought it was fun. Like, it was cool to be behind something that everyone gets to enjoy every year.
And Moten flipped out for some kid saying that Huck Finn was poorly written, and she just got so angry at this kid.
We should, like, at the end of the video have everyone in the class be like, we love you, to, like, the team, so, like, we don't die, you know?
No.
Damn it.
We love you.
Thanks.
Say cheese.
No.